If you guys have not heard of the Discord, guys, there's a link down in the description below. We talk comic books almost every single day. There's so many good people that have joined the Discord, and we just, like I said, talk comic books. So if that's something that would interest you, guys, link down in the description below. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into today's video. What is going on, comic book fans? Welcome back to the channel. And guys, welcome back to another Wednesday pull list, which is your hype video for New Comic Book Day. Now guys, I honestly don't know if this video is dropping on Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday would be such a sad thing, but guys, my kids are home. Today is their last day on spring break, and today's a little crazy. We have so many kids coming over. Stephanie just left with my daughter and two of her friends to go to the batting cages. We have more kids coming over that are Jack's friends. They're having a big play date later this afternoon, so I might get sucked into all things kids and also my full-time job, and then this is like, you know, lower priority. So if this comes out on Wednesday, I apologize. If it comes out on Tuesday, congratulations, Bruce. You're an absolute badass and you were able to fit in your full-time job plus this video and entertain kids. I'm pretty much a champion. But guys, this is your hype video for New Comic Book Day, which is May 1st of 2024. We're gonna go over cover lover picks, the chopping block. Sadly, there is a book on the chopping block. The top 3 books, the new #1 you should be excited about, and then we're gonna wrap this video up with the not top 3, but the books you gotta see. All right, guys, let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and check out my pull list. Now, as you guys can see, this pull list, it's much smaller than the last few weeks. I'm talking much smaller, 10 full books smaller. But you guys can't see what those books are, so let me go ahead and throw them up on screen right now. Now, there are a total of 12 books on my pull list, which is, like I said, 10 books smaller than the last few weeks. There are 3 new #1 titles, 2 DC books, 3 Marvel, and 7 indie titles. Now, with those 3 new #1s, that means I only had to read 9 books. This is 9, I guess? 9 total books, which was absolutely amazing. With the kids home from school and everything else, I was able to read all the previous issues to the books that you see on screen right now. So every single book could make the top 3 list. But guys, we gotta get going because I don't have a lot of time to shoot this video. So we're gonna go ahead and go right into the next section, which is the chopping block. Alright guys, I'm actually going to chop a book from my pull list. This does not happen very often and it's always a little sad, but guys, I have been moving The Immortal Thor to the bottom of my read pile month after month. I am now behind 3 issues, and I gotta tell you guys, when I got to them this week, I just wasn't excited to read them. And if I'm not excited to read a book, I really should just chop it from my pull list. The story has been okay, hasn't been great, it's a little out there, and I just don't like it. So I'm gonna chop it from my pull list. The artwork has been pretty good. The story, like I said, has been okay, but I want great. I want a great freaking story. So The Immortal Thor, you have officially been chopped from my pull list. You won't see it again unless something big happens, which would mean a new creative team coming on the book and taking it over. That's when I will probably try this book out again. But as long as Al Ewing is writing the book, I'm probably gonna stay away. Alright guys, that is the book that's on the chopping block this week. Let's go ahead and move over to something a little bit more positive, or a lot bit more positive, with my cover lover picks. This is a really interesting week for cover lover picks because normally a few sexy covers make the list, or sometimes the full list is full of beautiful women covers, but I think there's only one and it's really not that sexy. It's just a really cool cover with a female character on it. The rest are just badass, amazing covers, and I'm really excited for that. So let's go ahead and dive into these covers. And the first one up is of course a book that I just talked about chopping from my pull list, with The Immortal Thor issue #10, the variant cover done by Greg Capullo. It made the list because it's Greg Capullo, guys. He is so freaking fantastic. But guys, next up is The Incredible Hulk issue #12 with the Hulk Smash variant by Justin Mason. This is just a really cool freaking cover. They're doing this with a bunch of the characters. They did the Spider-Man Thwip variant, the Hulk Smash variant. There's been a couple others that I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's a really cool idea, and I really like these covers. Now, next up is the Invincible Iron Man issue number 18 with the 1:10 ratio design variant done by Pepe Larraz. It's Pepe Larraz, and it's a design variant, which I'm an absolute sucker for. And this one featuring the new Iron Man armor, I think it's called the Maelstrom, or the Mysterium variant. I think I called it Maelstrom when I originally talked about it like weeks ago when it was on FOC. But this cover is so freaking good in my opinion. I really, really like it. Now, next up is the one cover with a female character on it. This is Blood Hunt, issue number 1, with the variant plus the 1:200 virgin ratio variant done by Artgerm, Tigra. It is just a match made in heaven. This is an absolute great cover in my opinion. And I love that there's 2 versions, but am I really gonna spend close to $200 on this? Heck no, I'm just gonna pay the $4.99 or $5.99, whatever it is for this variant cover. Now, next up is Blood Hunt, issue number 1 with the 1:10 ratio variant, which has a trade dress, and the 1:100 virgin ratio variant done by Gabriel Del Otto. Now, this is, I believe, going to be one of his connecting cover sets. So every single issue of Blood Hunt, there will be an additional cover that will attach to this, and we'll get this big, wide, amazing canvas of our favorite Marvel characters fighting vampires, which is really freaking cool. Now, guys, next up is Free Comic Book Day 2024 Absolute Power Special Edition, issue number 1, with the foil variant done by Dan Moore. Now, if you look close, which I'll probably crop up close for you guys, Superman is bleeding. There's blood coming off him. Who did this to Superman? I want to know. Well, if I want to know, I guess I'm going to have to pick this up. Now, guys, next up is Deadpool Wolverine World War III, issue number 1, with the variant cover and the 1:100 virgin variant, plus the surprise variant done by Gabriel Del Otto. Now, I believe the surprise variant you have to order from Gabriel Del Otto's store or online at least. But there are 3 different variants, all featuring the amazing artwork of Deadpool stabbing Wolverine and then Wolverine cutting off Deadpool's arm. It is just really freaking good. Now, there is another cover for this that I really like. This is the website exclusive variant plus the virgin done by Clayton Crane. But I really like this because Deadpool has his own food truck, and that is really freaking cool. Now, the final cover that I really like that's coming out this week is Space Ghost, issue number 1, the cover C variant done by Bjorn Barends. Now, I'm going to put up on screen if there's any ratio variants that are versions of this, which I'm sure there are. I guess I didn't look for that when I was putting this up there. But guys, this cover by Bjorn Barends is so good in my opinion. It's definitely the best out of all the Space Ghosts, in my opinion. Maybe you like other ones, but I like this one the most. But guys, those are all the cover lover picks that I found this week that I think are just so freaking beautiful. So let's go ahead and move over to the next section, which is the new number 1 that I think you guys have to be excited about. Before we get to that new number 1, guys, if you have not smashed that like button just yet, do me a favor. Smash it. Push it down right now. Hit it with the button. Take your mouse, move it over the little, thumbs up, and then push it. It helps the channel out so much when you guys do that. So please, please, please hit that like button, smash it however you want me to describe it. Just click it. See? That's all you got to do. And I would truly, truly appreciate it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and check out that new number 1. The new number 1 that I think you guys have to be excited about is a crossover book at one of the big 2. And I gotta tell you guys, I'm excited about it because it involves vampires. And I freaking love vampires. And when Jason Aaron was actually writing Avengers and he involved the vampires of the Marvel Universe, that was like the best part of his Marvel run. And then he did some other stuff that were really weird and I didn't really care for it. But vampires are coming back, and it's going to be written by Jed MacKay, and Jed MacKay is such a great writer. And guys, if you didn't know, I'm talking about the gigantic crossover event that's going to be Blood Hunt. And Blood Hunt issue number 1 comes out this week, and I'm over the moon excited. And this is coming from the writer, like I said, of Jed MacKay. It's going to have art by Pepe Larraz, which is going to be so good, and it has colorist Marte Garcia. Guys, this is going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, a really big, exciting event. Now, this is obviously going to have so many tie-ins. I'm going to stay away from 95% of them. I'm going to stick to the main book. Maybe that's a mistake, but you know what? I don't want to spend all that extra money on all those tie-ins. I want to focus on the main book. Now, I'm personally not picking up the main book. I'm picking up the Red Band, which is going to be the little bit more gory one, which I'm really excited about. But let's go ahead and read the synopsis for this crossover event. The bloodiest Marvel event ever. The skies have gone dark, the sun hiding its face from the carnage to come. The children of the night, the vampires, have risen from the dark and hidden places of the world as one to drown the Marvel Universe in blood. Earth's final night has fallen. Can even the heroes of this doomed world stem the tide of blood that is to come? Join the Avengers, Blade, Bloodline, Spider-Man, Hunter's Moon, Tigra, Doctor Strange, and Clea as the dance of death begins in Blood Hunt issue number 1. I am really freaking excited about that, guys. Pepe Larraz, Jed McKay. This is going to be so much fun. At least I hope it is. Guys, there is a plethora of variants, and there are so many. You guys already know I really like the one by Artgerm. There's some other ones out there. They're doing these Fang variants. They're pretty cool. The first one features Blade. The second one, I think, has Doctor Strange. There's going to be a bunch of them. Those could be really fun to pick up as well. But mainly, I'm picking up the Red Band one because I want that extra blood and guts in every single issue. It's going to be so good. So that's what I'm really excited about. Are you guys picking this up, guys? Let me know down in the comments below. Maybe you can use that as your comment for hashtag I love comic books and get an entry into this week's giveaway. All right, guys. That is my new number 1. Let's go ahead and find out what the top 3 books that I'm most excited to pick up this week because the stories are the best. A new number 1 actually made the top 3 list, but I put it in the top 3 because this is actually a continuing series. I think this is volume 4 of this series, and every single volume has been so freaking good. So I'm really excited for this new volume, guys. I'm talking about Barbaric, and this volume is called Born in Blood, issue number 1. Now this is coming from the writer of Michael Morici. Absolutely fantastic. Art by Nathan Gooden, also fantastic. And colorist Fabi Marquez and letterer Jim Campbell. Guys, if you haven't read Barbaric, you're missing out. But guys, I don't even need to really tell you anything about it because there's a great synopsis that I'm just gonna read. So let's go ahead and read the synopsis. A new era of Barbaric begins. Are you worried that Axe is going to find out that you fell behind on a few issues? Scared to admit that despite all your friends raving about Barbaric for years, which I have, you still haven't joined in on the fun? Well, rejoice, for Barbaric Born in Blood begins the next season of Owen, Axe, and Soren's tale. Soren is this witch sorceress. I think she's a necromancer. Doesn't matter. She becomes friends with Owen in the first volume. So good. But let's go ahead and continue. Yes, that's right. We did it. The thing everyone says they're doing, even though they're lying through their teeth. A genuinely good jumping on point. How, you ask? Well, it all starts with a new compelling bad guy. Meet Auric, a tortured barbarian now turned master torturer who will take us deep into Owen's past, revealing secrets that should have stayed buried, like Axe in a chest cavity, slurping up that sweet, delicious blood. That's right. Owen, the main character, the barbarian, has an axe that's kind of alive and it loves to eat flesh and drink blood. It's such a cool thing. It also gets drunk off all the blood that it eats. It's such a cool idea. So good. Will the cursed do good barbarian finally do actual good? Because Owen's also cursed to always do good. A bunch of witches put that curse on him in the first volume, or you find out that's what happened to him. So when anyone needs help, he has to help them. It's so freaking cool. But probably not. But some much worse guys will almost certainly lose their heads. Yummy. I mean, that just sounds so freaking good. There are some really great variants for this book, but I'm just picking up cover A because that's definitely the best. You see Owen, and also his friend that turns into a vampire later on is also in the cover. At least it looks like him. It doesn't matter. This is gonna be so good. Make sure you're picking up Barbaric Born in Blood by Michael Morici. It is such a fantastic book. All right, guys, that is the number 3 book. Let's go ahead and find out what the number 2 is. All right, guys, the book that's in the number 2 spot is Kaya, issue number 18. That's right, issue number 18. This book is so good. It's made the list multiple times because this story is so freaking fantastic. But guys, this is coming from the writer-artist of Wes Craig, colorist Jason Wordie, and letterer Tom, a name I cannot pronounce. I tried multiple times and I failed so bad. But Tom is our letterer. Guys, this story is so good. It's been going on for so long. I'm going to do a terrible job of giving any kind of synopsis, But this story does follow two humans, the last humans on Earth, at least we know of. And they're both special in their own way, and they're brother and sister. And the sister is the older one, and she's doing everything she can to take her brother and get to this final destination, which is supposedly going to help them both. And along the way, we find out that her brother has magical powers, and a lot of people are hunting him down because they think he's some kind of savior. And we meet so many cool people along the way. There are this whole civilization of robots that are hunting them down. There's some really cool stories there. There's this group of lizard men, which are really cool. And the sister actually fell in love with one of the lizard men, which was a pretty great story. And now we've come to this other city, which is far away from where they started, and they meet this whole new group of people, and there are just, I don't know, it's so cool. Again, I'm doing such a terrible job, but the characters keep growing in these really interesting ways because they're forced to. They're put in these terrible situations and they're forced to change, but they're growing. It's awesome. It's kind of like a coming-of-age tale, a really long coming-of-age tale, but I don't want this story to end. It's so good. The artwork by Wes Craig is fantastic, and it just continues to pull me in, to intrigue me on this story. It's so great. It really is. Now, to get caught up to issue number 18, obviously, you're going to have to pick up trades or pick up 17 single issues. Not 18, 17 single issues. But guys, it's truly, truly worth it. And the cover A is fantastic. The cover B is really good. And there's really only 2 covers, so that's really it. But guys, pick up this book. I really, really enjoy it. That's why it's in the number 2 spot. But guys, let's go ahead and move on and find out what the number 1 book that I think you guys have to be reading this week, because it's the best story coming out this week. This was an easy one. It's obviously the best story coming out this week, especially with so many free comic book day books. It seems like this was a very light week for books, but this book is so good. It is so good. Guys, I'm talking about Vengeance of the Moon Knight. Issue number 5 drops this week. I read issue number 4 yesterday. This is coming from the writer of Jed MacKay, art by Alessandro Cappuccio, colorist Rachel Rosenberg, and letterer Corey Petit. Such a great freaking book. Now, there were 30 issues before this, really building up the story that is this right here. It is so great. Now, in this series, Vengeance of the Moon Knight, Mark Spector is sadly, spoiler, he's dead. And someone else has taken his mantle. And that character was actually found out in issue number 4. It was a great reveal. It's a character called Maximilian Coleridge. He used to be Shroud. I don't know who Shroud is. I don't know how he got the mantle of Moon Knight, but obviously the family that Moon Knight built in those first 30 issues are absolutely pissed. They're hunting this guy down, and they just want to stop this person impersonating Moon Knight, because he's not Moon Knight. He's not. He doesn't have the same values and everything else that Moon Knight should have, and it's just... it is so good. Jed MacKay, this is your best book right now. You're writing Avengers, you're writing Doctor Strange, you're writing a Blood Hunt. You're just writing so much, but please keep writing this book. It is so fantastic. And the art by Alessandro Cappuccio is so great. It's so great. Oh, I love the family dynamic, because he really did build a family in those first 30 issues with Tigra, Hunter's Moon, Soldier. I forgot who the female vampire is, and 8 Ball, which is a really cool character. There's so many great characters in this book. Read this book. Now, there are some okay variants. There's cover B, which is the Ghost Rider variant, which, why are we having Ghost Rider variants? I don't know. The 1 in 25 by Phil Noto featuring Tiger and Hunter's Moon is okay, but just pick up the cover A. It's so great. The story is amazing. Pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then issue number 5. You'll get a sense of the whole story of the previous 30 issues, but if you really want to, go pick out the trades and read those, because those were so good. So good. All right, guys, those were the top 3 books for this week that I think you guys have to be reading. Let's go ahead and quickly do the not top 3, but the books you gotta see. All right, guys, the not top 3, but the books you gotta see are just the rest of the books that are on my pull list, and I give you little nuggets of information to let you know if they're good, great, or maybe just okay. But all these books were really good this week, so let's go ahead and dive right in. And the first book that we haven't spoken about yet is Crave issue number 6, which I think this is the final issue of this series. This series was hands down a ton of fun. A little sexy, definitely adult book only, but I really, really enjoyed it. It has some really great themes in this book. Next up, Ghost Ghost Lore issue number 10. This is a great Cullen Bunn book about ghosts and people who can see ghosts and manipulate ghosts. It was a lot of fun, or it has been fun so far. I believe this book has made the top 3 list before. Yeah, it's Cullen Bunn, it's Boom, it's a great horror story if you're into those type of things. Next up, The Incredible Hulk, issue number 12. This is a so-so book. I've spoken ill of it in the past. I didn't hate issue number 11. I'm glad we're kind of moving on from that whole Frozen Charlotte story and we're moving on to something else. But overall, it's interesting. It's written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. He's an absolutely great writer. There's been some amazing covers for it. The one this week is the Hulk Smash one, which is so good. But this is a good story, but I think they could do better. Hopefully, they do better soon. Do. Next up, King Spawn, issue number 33. This is the first issue that I've read of King Spawn since like issue number 2 or 3. And it was pretty good. We're just continuing that whole storyline where all of the agents of heaven and hell have lost their powers and they're all stuck on Earth and they're all vying for power. The vampires are really making a big push for it. But Spawn's still an absolute badass. And he showed it in issue number 32. It was a lot of fun. Next up, Nightwing Annual 2024, issue number 1. There's only gonna be an issue number 1. Nightwing is okay, and this annual is featuring on the character, I forgot her name, but Dick Grayson actually dated her when he was shot in the head and he forgot who he was. He had amnesia, and then she turns out to be the daughter of this character that basically is a pirate, and if you have secrets, you can give him your secret and he'll hide it for like ever, and it's like his whole thing, and she's taken over that because her father was killed, and she's okay. Do we really need a whole annual about that character? I don't think so, but guys, let's go ahead and move on. Next up, Space Ghost, issue number 1. I'm pretty excited about this. I believe this is written by David Pepose. I'm gonna go ahead and double check that so I'm not putting my foot in my mouth. Yes, David Pepose. He's a great writer, so I'm really excited because I really like Space Ghost as a character. Next up, Superman House of Brainiac Special, issue number 1. So far, I'm liking the House of Brainiac stuff so far, and I'm excited to get a whole one-shot to hopefully get a lot more information about this whole story. I just like the way it's coming together. You got Lobo, you got Lex Luthor, you got Superman, you got Brainiac, already captured some of the Kal-Els. It's fun so far. Next up, and the last one, is Zorro, Man of the Dead, issue number 4, which is the final issue. We were left on a cliffhanger at the end of issue number 3, but the reason why this book is so good, it's John Gordon Murphy doing the writing, doing the art. It's a fun story. Issue number 1 really wasn't that great, but 2 and 3 really ramped it up, picked up the story. A lot of fun. Cliffhanger at the end of issue number 3, so I'm really excited to see how this story wraps up. Great covers along the whole way, too. All right, guys, that is it. That is my full pull list. I'm really small this week, but guys, we have 24 on the pull list next week, so guys, stay tuned for next week because it's going to be a banger. But let's go ahead and wrap this video up and find out who won last week's giveaway. Before we get to the giveaway, I just gotta thank everyone who's watched from the beginning of the video and made it all the way to the end. I just gotta let you guys know, you guys are legends. Thank you for being the legends that you are and supporting this channel. Now, if you guys can look down real quick, if you guys have not smashed that like button just yet, do me a favor and smash that like button. And last but not least, guys, if you guys watch that video and you enjoy comic book content, but you're not subscribed, do me a favor, get yourself subscribed, hit that bell for notification, and smash that like button. All right, guys, let's go ahead and cut up close and find out who won last week's giveaway. All right, guys, you know how we do this. First, we find last week's video. We go ahead and click on it, and then we pause it because you guys don't want to hear me rambling. And then we copy and paste the URL into this website right here. And then we hit fetch. Not anything goes, always a keyword filter, and that filter is hashtag I love comic books. You had to leave that hashtag on your comment on last week's video to get an entry into this week's giveaway. Let's go ahead and find out how many of you did that. And there is a total of 54 of you. You guys all have entries. And let's go ahead and find out who won last week's giveaway in 3, 2, 1. And it was Terry Floyd 3505, and you left the hashtag, or you left a comment. We'll probably buy the Latte for Dick Tracy issue number 1, even if it's a blah book. Can't go wrong with a latte cover. Obviously, I 100% agree. Terry Floyd, congratulations! Terry, congratulations on being last week's winner. Now, what I need you to do is to go over to Instagram and slide into our DMs and give us your address, and I will get books shipped out to you soon. I am 5 weeks behind now, but I do have all the books picked out. I got boxes in from Gemini, and guys, I am going to pack them up tomorrow. So if you have won a book over the last 5 weeks, starting in the last week of March, I am going to get books out to you this week, I promise. So if you're waiting on books, they are going to go out this week. Terry, you might have to wait a little bit longer because I ran out of books to give away, so I got to go shopping. So to everyone who's won something, I apologize it's taken so long. My life has just been really busy on the personal side and haven't had extra time to get books out. But guys, that's it. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a great new comic book day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.